Nina had always loved the idea of dancing. Her heart quickened at the sight of moving feet and graceful arms. The shimmer of stage lights played in her imagination like a private sunbeam. Yet, day after day, she found herself anchored to the living room couch, the same television shows blurring into one another. "Tomorrow," she whispered, pressing next episode as the sun fell below her window. Her dream felt distant, as though someone else was living it. One gray afternoon, Nina wandered through the city to escape the humming lull of the TV. The streets bustled, but her thoughts drifted to music and unfollowed choreography, movements she never learned, a stage she'd never seen. A sudden breeze carried with it the scent of baking bread and something indefinably older, richer. Drawn by curiosity, Nina ducked into a narrow alley she didn't remember seeing before. There, in the shadow of a faded mural, was an old woman seated on a folding stool. Her hair was silver bright, and her shawl embroidered with glinting golden thread. On a cloth before her rested an array of curious trinkets, chipped teacups, dusty books, and lying in pride of place, a calendar with pages edged in gold. Its cover shimmered in the dappled light, catching Nina's eye. Pausing, Nina found herself staring at the calendar. The woman smiled, her eyes crinkling. "Looking for something, are you?" the old woman asked. Her voice was gentle, but it cut through the daydream fog in Nina's mind. Nina shook her head, yet she couldn't move. "That calendar, it's beautiful." The old woman nodded, extending it carefully as if handing her a fragile bird. "For you, dear," she said. "It's a gift. But mind you, this one's special." The calendar pulsed warm in Nina's hands. Embossed on every page was a sunburst. A line of script read, "Mark your days with purpose." Nina thanked the woman, who winked in reply. "Take care of your time. Every day is a seed." That night, back home, Nina set the golden calendar on her desk. Just before bed, curiosity nudged her to flip to the current date. An odd, faint glow hovered over today's page. Peering closer, she saw that under the date was a single word, gently illuminated. Wasted. A chill ran through her. She tried to recall the day. Endless scrolling, television reruns, plans to stretch or practice tomorrow. The glowing word felt like both an accusation and an invitation. For the next several days, the same pattern repeated. No matter how she tried to ignore it, when she opened the calendar each evening, the golden script glimmered the word wasted. Nina began to see her days in a new, uncomfortable light. The television shows lost their charm. Each unmarked hour felt heavier, duller. One morning, instead of reaching for the remote, Nina hesitated. She remembered the old woman's words. "Take care of your time. Every day is a seed." She pushed the remote aside and pulled out her phone, searching for beginner dance tutorials. The sun draped itself through her window, painting hopeful stripes across the living room floor. Tentatively, Nina mimicked the dancers on the screen. Her awkward footsteps shuffled out over the carpet. Though she felt clumsy and ungraceful, something in her spirit brightened. When she opened the calendar that evening, her fingers trembled with anticipation. This time, there was no glow, no accusing word, just a quiet warmth. From that day, Nina began to sprinkle dance into her routine. At first, it was only for a few minutes, stretching in the bedroom each morning, following along with a choreographer online after school. With every step, her movements grew less timid. She started keeping a dance journal, jotting down her thoughts and progress. The golden calendar became a companion and a silent mentor. On days when Nina skipped practice or fell back into watching television for hours, a muted glow crept across the page. But after every dance-filled day, the calendar shone with a soft, approving luminescence. It was as if she'd left a thumbprint of purpose behind. Weeks passed, and Nina noticed changes in herself. Her posture improved. Her smile came more easily. Each morning brought a new chance to mark her day not as wasted, but as spent toward her dream. Her confidence grew with her skill, propelling her out of the apartment and into the world. One Saturday, Nina mustered the courage to join a community dance class at the local center. Her heart pounded with nerves as she entered the mirrored studio, surrounded by strangers whose movements seemed effortless. Still, her love for dance outweighed her fears. She introduced herself, took a spot at the edge, and followed the group through routines. She stumbled, laughed, and learned. After class, the instructor approached her, offering encouragement and a handful of tips. "There's something special in the way you move," the instructor said. Nina's eyes widened with surprise and joy. She hurried home, calendar tucked under her arm, and realized how far she had come. Every day, Nina's journey unfolded with a mixture of progress and setbacks. There were mornings she awoke restless, tempted to fall into her old habits. But now, each glowing reminder in the calendar was less a rebuke and more a gentle correction. It helped her to forgive herself for the off days and renew her commitment the next. In time, Nina's dance brought her to auditions for a local performance. The night before, she opened her calendar, tracing the golden trim and recalling the alley's hush and the wise woman's knowing smile. On stage, the lights dazzled, bright as her wildest dreams. She danced, her movements shaped by discipline and longing, buoyed by months of conscious effort. The applause was thunder in her veins. Later, when she checked that day's page in her calendar, it glowed more warmly than ever, not as wasted, but as fulfilled. The words shimmered with a joy she couldn't put into words. Years later, Nina still safeguarded the golden calendar. By then, some of the gilding had faded, the pages worn, but its message endured. It reminded her that dreams are not just for wishing, they are for working toward a little more every ordinary day. In quiet moments, Nina often thought of the old woman in the alley. She hoped to meet her again, to thank her for the calendar that turned time from foe to friend. Yet, even if she never crossed paths with her again, Nina knew she carried the magic forward. Every day, every small, purposeful action was a brushstroke in the mural of her dream. Through her journey, Nina learned that magic can enter our lives unexpectedly. But it's what we do after, how we listen and act, that shapes the future we want most of all.